Hey everyone, Phi Farley here, and I am going to do something a little unique, going through every single bowl game here in 2018 and 2019. Just going to play out every single bowl game, give you my side. I'm not going to spend a lot of time breaking down each game. Those picks can come along later as those bowls come up. But as of right now, I want to share with you what I'll be making bets on, but also just taking my side and a real quick overview of all the bowl games. So with that said, before I get into that, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Check out my other picks, NFL picks. You can also check out the basketball picks, daily best bets, all those coming out. So don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. With that said, let's kick things off, starting with Alcorn State and North Carolina A&T. Real quick, best bet in my opinion on that one is taking the under 47.5. All right, moving right along into non-FCS schools. We have Tulane, Louisiana, the AutoNation Cure Bowl on December 15th. That one, I think Lafayette laying the 3.5 or getting the 3.5, I think is going to be the best bet to take there. So take Lafayette. Then we have Utah State, North Texas. This is actually a game I am betting on. Utah State having their dreams crushed in Boise on the blue turf. Now going against North Texas in the New Mexico Bowl, which is presented by Progressive. I'm taking North Texas plus the 7.5 in that one. And that, like I said, will be one of my plays. Arizona State, Fresno State, Mitsubishi Motors Las Vegas Bowl. Arizona State here, Herm Edwards has been getting his team up for some Pac-12 play, been doing pretty good. Meanwhile, Fresno State has crushed their way through their conference play, only to come up short to Boise State in the end. I like Fresno State laying the 6 in this one. I'm taking Fresno State -6. All right, Georgia Southern, Eastern Michigan. I've been off of Eastern Michigan throughout this season. Not a huge fan. Georgia Southern, I think, is the better team. I have no problem laying the 3 in the Raycom Media Camilla Bowl. Sorry if I mispronounced that one. Going with Georgia Southern minus the 3 there. All right, Middle Tennessee, Appalachian State. This one is the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. This one I am taking the under 48. Middle Tennessee, Appalachian State with a really good defense, often going under throughout the season. Same with Middle Tennessee State, more so Appalachian State. I like them in this one. They're favored to win by 7. Too many points. I'm going to go with the under 48. All right, moving on to Tuesday, December 18th. Of course, big games come on those days, like the Cherry Bundy Boca Raton Bowl. UAB going against Northern Arizona. In this one, I think the best bet is to go under. Both teams with good defenses, slow paces of play. So under the 43 is my bet. All right, Ohio, San Diego State playing in the DXL Frisco Bowl. San Diego State and Ohio, mixed opinions on this one, on where to come in at after capping. I'm going San Diego State. I like their full body of work. Ohio away from home is a different team than at home. So going down to Texas, I think will not bode well for them. San Diego State getting the advantage. Give me San Diego State plus the field goal. All right, Marshall and Florida. We're on December 20th, Thursday. Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl. Marshall here and South Florida have had their spots throughout the season to bet for them. Also mixed opinions coming in on this one. I'm going South Florida, even though if you followed my picks throughout the season, you've seen I've had my criticisms of South Florida this season. But I'm taking them as a dog here at the plus 2.5. Go with the local team playing this game out of Tampa. Used to that one in South Florida. So speaking of Florida, Florida International going against Toledo in the Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl. This will be an interesting matchup. I am capping this one. Sidewise, we have Toledo minus 6.5. However, I'm going with the total, going over in this one. I think Florida International with their offense going against Toledo and their reputation of offense, I'm going over the 68.5. All right, speaking of MAC games, Western Michigan, I like this one a lot. Going against BYU, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl out of Boise, Idaho. I'm going BYU in a big way here. BYU is laying 12. I am going with that. I have no problem laying 12 with BYU. Not a huge fan of Western Michigan in their weak play, their weak conference play. It's just, meanwhile, BYU's been steady all year. I think they get up for this one. It's a familiar territory playing there in Idaho. So give me BYU minus the 12. All right. So now we're on to Saturday, December 22nd, Memphis playing Wake Forest, Jared Birmingham Bowl. Memphis, Wake Forest. Man, I'm going to watch this game. I like this game. I'm going Memphis here. I think this is going to be a good spot for them. Wake Forest just squeaking in with that last win of the season. Not as good a team away from home. Memphis with good running back play. I'm going Memphis minus the 3.5. Houston and Army, Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. I really like this play as well. Houston Army going with the under 59.5. Some places have it at 60. Taking the under here. Army with a great defense. Look at what they did to Oklahoma, taking it to overtime. What is it, 28-28 when they went into overtime to hold probably the nation's best offense to just 28 points. And you expect this one to go over 60? I'd be surprised. So I'm going under 59.5. Army, Houston, Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. All right, moving on. We have Buffalo and Troy. Speaking of unders, Buffalo and Troy total set at 51.5. Definitely going under in this one. Both teams' defenses will step up here. Dollar General Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. So last game on the 22nd is Hawaii, Louisiana Tech. Hawaii really struggling down the stretch. I think they started 5-0 or 5-1 and then ended up with an 8-5 record in the Sophie Hawaii Bowl. This one, I am going with the Louisiana Tech. Hawaii down the stretch was awful. Louisiana Tech is a pretty darn good team. Going with the underdog here as Hawaii's favored by 1.5. Give me Louisiana Tech plus the 1.5. All right, on to Wednesday, December 26th. Happy Boxing Day. Boston College playing against Boise State, Dallas, Texas, Cotton Bowl. This one I have a bet on. This is one of my better plays. Going Boston College to beat Boise State. Boston College running the game. Their offensive line play way too good for Boise State. I look for them in their injury-prone defense to get run over. And they're favored by 2.5. Give me Boston College plus the 2.5. Minnesota, Georgia Tech, Quick Lane Bowl. Going with Georgia Tech in this one. Georgia Tech lane 6. I love PJ Fleck. I'm glad they made a bowl game. They're bowl eligible. Great for them. However, you could see when they lose, they have lost big. I don't think they're going to be able to hang with Georgia Tech in the triple option. Give me Georgia Tech minus the 6. I think that's double-digit blowout win. California TCU in the Cheez-It Bowl. This says defense, has defense written all over it. Total set at 40. I am going under the 40. I have been winning on Cal unders here throughout the season. This is a perfect setup with TCU being a great defensive team. Give me the defense. Cal, TCU, don't care who wins. It's a pick 'em anyway. I'm going under. All right, Thursday, December 27th. Temple and Duke Walk-Ons Independence Bowl. Here we have Temple favored by 4, total set at 55. I'm going to be on the Temple side of this, laying the 4. This one took me a while to really get to a pick, and I'm just going to go with Temple here because Duke's play down the stretch was not good at all. I think they had a win in Miami, and then after that, it really fell apart for them. So I'm looking for them to have cashed in the season a few weeks ago, and give me Temple minus the 4 in the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl. All right, Miami, Wisconsin. Miami laying the 3.5. I think this is a Miami win and covering 3.5 all day in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. Miami, one of the best defenses in the game. Going up against Wisconsin, which has really been a hollow egg throughout the season. Not the team they used to be. Trying to run the football. They're kind of changing their aspect with a little bit of throwing, but I think Miami's defense will shut down Taylor and look for this one to be a Miami win as Wisconsin only has one option of offense, which is running. Baylor, Vanderbilt. Let's see. This one was a conclusion on, first of all, Academy Sports and Outdoors Texas Bowl. Sorry, rattling off here. Playing in Houston, Texas. We have Vandy, Baylor. I was very tempted to go over the 55 here. Capped this several different ways. Was tempted to go over 55. In the end, settling not to. Money's coming over on the over, but the line has not moved at all. That said, I'm going to be taking the 5 points with Baylor just because I think it's going to be a close game. And going either way, give me the 5 on whichever team you want to give it to me on. So I'm taking Baylor plus the 5 because I think we have a field goal game here. Now we're on to Friday, December 28th. Purdue, Auburn. I like this one. I'm going Purdue, the underdog, plus the 4. Purdue has played their schedule very well through the Big Ten. I know Auburn has really fallen apart down the stretch in the SEC. Of course, SEC coming in with arguably better play. But I'm going to go with Purdue here in their passing game to put up some points on Auburn. And I think they'll be up early and then hold on to that lead. So I'll take Purdue plus 4. West Virginia, Syracuse. Greer is going to be out for West Virginia, flipping this game from a 7-point favorite of West Virginia over to a 1-point favorite. By the way, this is the Camping World Bowl in Orlando, Florida. I'm going to be going with the orange here. Give me Syracuse because of the, taking Greer out of the game. I just like that spot, so I'm going to be taking Syracuse at plus 1. So basically pick them in that game. So Iowa State, Washington State, the Valero Alamo Bowl. This is a big one, and I definitely have a play here. I have a side that I really like, and that's going to be Iowa State plus the 3.5. I think when Washington State plays a tough defense like they did against University of Washington, Iowa State is that kind of defense. I think it's going to be one of the toughest defenses they've faced all year long. They struggle. I don't think the passing game is going to work. Washington State only has one way of offense, which is through the pass, says Coach Leach. So, unfortunately, that will be to their detriment going against Iowa State. At best, we have a field goal game, so I'm taking Iowa State plus the 3.5. All right, Saturday, December 29th, Florida, Michigan in the Chick-fil-A Bowl. This one, I also have a pick on. I'm going Michigan all day long, minus the 7.5. I think Florida has been squeaking by. They've lost some games big when they shouldn't have. I think it's defense or bust here. Michigan has NFL athletes all across the field. I think they come out in a big way and win this game and win it big. Defense will hold the lead and continue to set up good field position for Michigan over Florida. So I'm taking Michigan minus the 7.5 in that one. Moving on to South Carolina, Virginia. This is an interesting one because I wanted to take South Carolina because of SEC just versus the ACC. However, at plus 5.5, by the way, this is the Belk Bowl. At plus 5.5, I'm going to be going with the Virginia side because I'm playing the number there. I think they lose. However, they lose a close game, South Carolina and Virginia. All right, almost done. Almost done. Holy cow, this is a long one. We're going with Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl. Arkansas State, Nevada, played in Tucson, Arizona. In this one, I am going with, checking out my notes real quick. I am going with Nevada as the underdog. Arkansas State, 1.5-point favorite. Going with Nevada here at the plus 1.5. All right. Notre Dame, Clemson, saving that one. Oklahoma, Alabama, saving that one for a separate video. So if you want to find those, you'll get them in a separate video all together. Here, I'm going through the rest of the bowl games, not the football playoff. All right, Cincinnati, Virginia Tech. This is the Military Bowls presented by Northrop Grumman. Cincinnati and Virginia Tech here. This one's played in Maryland. I like Cincinnati. I've liked Cincinnati all season long. Virginia Tech has been losing and losing big. When they lose big. I think they're going to lose here and they're going to lose big. Look at Cincinnati, 10-2. They're going to pound Virginia Tech at 6-6. So I'm going to be taking Cincinnati, laying the 6 points. No problem. Stanford, Pittsburgh. I really like this spot. We're getting too many points to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a very good team, very good defense. Stanford, has been a letdown this season, not playing for a Pac-12 championship. Really been underperforming at 8-4 as a preseason favorite to potentially win or at least play in the championship game. So Stanford, Pittsburgh in the Hyundai Sun Bowl. I'm going Pittsburgh plus the 6.5. All right, down the stretch, Michigan State, Oregon. This one, I kind of capped aside one way or another. We got Oregon minus 2.5, total at 48. I'm going under that total of 48 because I was looking at Michigan. Michigan State may win this game. However, if they do, the only way they can do it is to hold Oregon to 17 points or less. They're not going to put up, over 28 points against Oregon. So the only way I see this happening is if they hold Oregon down 48. I think the best play is 48 under in that one. Missouri, Oklahoma State, AutoZone, Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee. Missouri, Oklahoma State. In this one, I like the over 74 right now. Missouri can put up some points. So can Oklahoma State. I think they let the hands down and just go blow for blow in this one. So Missouri, Oklahoma State 74. Going over, no problem. Northwestern and Utah. I like this matchup just because I like both these teams. Both of them overperforming on the season. Northwestern 8-5, Utah 9-4. I'm going to be. I think we got way too many points here with Northwestern at plus 7.5. That's too many. Northwestern's a good team. They got a good defense. They consistently prove bettors wrong by coming out and covering and winning games outright. It's fine that it's played on the West Coast for Utah. I think Northwestern's going to travel, and I think they cover the 7.5. All right, NC State, Texas A&M. In the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, I am going with the I am going over the 59 here. NC State, Texas A&M, no problem. Once again, 59, I think the total's too low. I will take the over. Both teams can score. Give me the total going over 59. All right, this one I like a lot. Mississippi State, Iowa. I just love this one. Mississippi State continually going under the 42, 45, 43. They always have that. That's kind of their total, and they go under. They went under in pretty much every single SEC matchup game this year. Check it out. They went under in almost every single one. Now we get Iowa, and we expect them to go over? No way. Total set at 44. I'm going under all day on this one. Mississippi State, Iowa, don't care who wins, going under. All right. LSU, UCF, too many points. We're getting 7.5 with UCF. Give me the plus 7.5. It's better to not lose than to be a winning team. That may make sense. If you're a wrestler, you would understand what that means. It's better to pick the wrestler who refuses to lose, who doesn't know how to lose, than it is the one who wins. UCF just does not lose. They find a way because they don't lose. They hate to lose. They just don't lose. So 7.5, too much. I think they may win this one outright. They've done it before against LSU, so taking UCF. All right, Kentucky Penn State, the VRBO Citrus Bowl. Interesting, VRBO. Penn State, Kentucky here. I think this is going to be an under game. Kentucky been going under most of the season. Penn State with a really good defense, unfamiliar foes. I say it's conservative for the most part, under 47.5. All right, Rose Bowl. We got a big one. The bowl of all bowls. Washington going against Ohio State. In this one, I think this is going to be a much closer game than what this is telling. If you're going to beat Washington by more than 7, you are going to really have to come up with a turnover or some surprise. But Washington plays really good defense. They may win this one outright. I would not want to lay the 7 in this one, so I'm taking Washington plus the 7. Last bowl of the game, or last bowl of all the bowls, Texas, Georgia, All-State Sugar Bowl. Georgia minus 13, big total. I'm laying it. I'm going Georgia minus the 13 over Texas. Texas has not faced a team like Georgia. Georgia quite arguably could be in the college football playoff. Give me Georgia minus the 13. There you go. Every single bowl game broken down for you. Check out my college football playoff picks if you want to check out Bama, Notre Dame, Clemson, and Oklahoma. Good luck, everyone, and we'll see you again soon.